So you've seen a ton of success with Facebook ads for roofers and local service businesses in general. What's the key there?
There's a few things that go into it. I'll talk about the creatives first, because that's like always what I say is creative is king. There's a couple different things that we do. Number one is we'll sit down and with the owner and we'll just interview them similar to what you and me are doing. And it's just, I'm going to go into ChatGPT and be like, hey, what are the most common PAA people also ask questions for X niche? So like roofers in X city. So Dallas. ChatGPT is going to spit out like 10 to 15 questions. I'm literally just going to take those questions and I'm going to sit down with the business owner and we're going to have a podcast. I'm going to ask them the questions. She'll answer that. We go in, chop them up, run super low cost ads against those. We purpose it accordingly and then go from there. So that's like one of the foundations we start with. The other thing we start with is the text and basic graphic creatives. So most companies use like Company Cam or have all pictures and videos housed within Google Drive or Dropbox. So we'll get access to all of that. The more the merrier, we like to always say. We'll take that, we'll find like the best quality ones, like before and after pictures, if it's like a roofing company or remodeling company, etc. And from there, we'll create 5 different offers, or sorry, we'll ask the business for 5 different offers, whether that's financing, inspections, discounts, warranty, just go down the line. And we're also looking for like emotional things that people want to buy. Because I'm sure as a consumer, people always see, hey, we offer financing, $1,000 off installation. We want to stand out. What's the emotional thing that's going to actually want people to click on the ad and eventually turn into an estimate, inspection, blah, blah, blah. So we got to figure those out. Then from there, it's just a game of testing. So testing different offers, that's the one that we're trying to find first as the winner within Facebook, is that winning offer. Because then we can filter down out and find the creatives that are working with that offer. Then we can find the messaging, etc. And then from there, just reverse engineering everything into finding 10 to 15 different creatives with the same offer that's printing, the same messaging we don't have to check on anymore. We know this is going to be profitable. We can throw 10 grand a day behind this and it's going to turn $100,000 of jobs.
Which offers have you seen that perform best?
There's nothing specifically, honestly. It's very dependent based on the market. I found like Dallas as an example and like the DFW area. That is so hard to crack for Facebook ads. It is ridiculous. But it's the emotional stuff that gets people to want to buy. As an example, like as a roofer, it's like a bunch of different roofing companies. This is a big market. They're running, like I said earlier, free inspections installed in a week, like different things like that. But do you want to protect your family? Or do you want to protect your house? Do you want to increase the value of your house if you're looking to sell? Different things that are more outside the box offer wise is what we found really works, especially in those harder markets.
You found out something that I've been like scratching my head about for the past 3 months, where a person has a pixel on their site, everything's set up properly in terms of tracking, but the leads just aren't good. They're getting a bunch of spam calls. I believe that was a roofing client of yours.
Yeah.
How did you fix that?
So we use LeadsBridge to get better leads, especially lead form ads is what I will speak on, because more often than not, lead form ads have a stigma around them that they're low quality, and they are to an extent. But the biggest thing is like you can have all the tracking set up, but you have to pass that conversion data back to Facebook. Mentioned before, there's an app or a SaaS, we'll call it, called LeadsBridge. And basically it just connects to your Facebook account and to your CRM. So when you go into your CRM and you mark a lead, automatically passes it back. There's a couple of things you need to do for the pixel and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not going to go into the technicalities of it, but that's the best thing. With that being said, though, there's a lot of CRMs that LeadsBridge does not have a native integration with, so you can't use it. So like Go High Level or Service Titan, actually, even CallRail. So we actually have to do using Zapier. There's a bunch of YouTube walkthroughs. I'm in the process of creating SOPs for it, but there's a similar thing that you can do with Zapier so that you can connect it to Facebook and to the CRM so you can pass that data back.
Perfect. So can you go over Facebook pixels for someone who might not be familiar?
For sure. So if you don't have a pixel installed in your site, or you don't have a pixel at all, or maybe it's in the ad account, but it has no data received, the biggest thing that we found is you can't jump into bottom of funnel ads right away. What I mean by that, you can't jump into lead form ads and call ads right away. You have to let Facebook learn a little bit about who your ideal customer is. So the best thing you can do is just use the creatives that I talked about earlier, but just run like an engagement campaign. So just pure website traffic, leave the targeting broad, and let Facebook learn who your ideal client might be And then from there, that opens things up to retargeting campaigns down the line. And then you can jump into bottom of funnel campaigns.
Nice. Can you go into retargeting campaigns?
Yeah. So it's easy to win in Facebook ads for local, especially because it's just you're targeting one city, one state. But in harder markets, as I mentioned earlier, and even in the easier markets, retargeting is very important. And the things that we like to do is Facebook page engagements, Instagram page engagements, and anybody who's opened the lead form and completed a step or two in it, but didn't submit it. So if you do all those, it's super simple to do when you create the campaign. You can just create custom audiences within, leave the retention about 90 days because you're still somewhat top of mind, but it leaves enough people so that the ads can actually reach them. Basically, you're paying for the traffic anyways. You may as well use that and use like a super low cost, like $5-10 a day for retargeting campaigns. So on seasoned accounts, if you have a pixel with a lot of data and you've been running ads for a while, but you're still seeing the issue of bad leads, goes back to my previous point where you're not passing that conversion data back to Facebook. More often than not, you probably have a CRM. The leads are probably going into that. It's connected to Facebook, all that, but you're missing that one key step, passing that data back. So, like I said, looking at something like LeadsBridge or Zapier, in order to do that, it's super easy to set up. Doing that will help you get better leads.
How many businesses do you think aren't doing that?
Oh my God. 99%, especially in the home service space. Like I've talked to a few marketing firms. I mean, I have my own opinion on that and marketing firms in the local space, but they don't even know how to do that. And they're not doing it for themselves. Like us, one of our biggest lead generators is ads. How do we get better leads? Passing the data back. And it's just a simple step. It takes you maybe 2 hours, especially if you don't know, just watching YouTube videos and setting it up properly. It's not that difficult, but a lot of people miss that step.
Do you want to talk about your business more?
I don't even know what to say too much about it, but other than remark, a little bit about vision management and me. So I started out in the B2B space for doing that for about the past year and a half, I would say. Within the last 6 months, transitioned to working with home service and local service companies. And the reason for that is we found it a lot easier to get results for those clients because the B2B side, you're competing on the national, sometimes even international level. And it's very tough. It takes a lot more people to scale, at least on our side. I ran into a hiring problem and I didn't really see a way around that without kind of going like the typical route where it's like, okay, go get office space, start hiring people for 50, 60 grand a year who are the same skill level of VAs overseas. And I just didn't feel like that was worth it. And I've been contemplating going into local service for a while. About 6 months ago, made the decision to switch, rebranded, so to speak, and it was just changing website copy and that sort of thing. But like I said, we're really good at ads on the B2B side. And then like, let's run some ads for myself. Let's see what happens. Got a handful of clients from there, paused the ads, got great results for them. And then it was just kind of like the hamster wheel of like, they're referring us, we're dumping more money back into ads, et cetera, et cetera. And then just kind of scaling the company from there.
Do you agree that local service businesses are 20 times easier to help than like national and international businesses,
It's
or
oh yeah, it's not even close. Like it's so much easier.
it's the same thing every time?
The same thing. Like there's a little bit differences, like offers, creatives, like something that's gonna work in Ohio might not work in Texas. But regardless, it's the same formula over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's what I love about it, honestly.
Oh yeah. And the local service owners, they're so much better to work with too. The
Yeah,
B2B guys, a lot of them, you have to go up chains of command, and especially working with bigger companies, and there's a lot of ego.
yeah,
Granted, there isn't any type of business, but the local service people I can just relate to a lot more and frankly have better conversations with.
yeah. They're much more down there for sure.
100%.
Awesome. I suck at this. What else?
We'll go into you. Do you want to talk a little bit about LSA and the fundamentals of it?
Yeah, I think it scares a lot of people away because it's almost its own CRM and there's a bunch of different tabs. It's a difficult platform to navigate if you don't understand what you're doing. But once you realize how simple it is and how easy it is to have an LSA account that is just crushing and getting you a lot of leads at a low CPL, like business owners are just like, how did I not know this before? Like all the clients that I've worked with, I know for a fact within a week I can get them leads just from local service ads. It's just so easy to set up. I think one of the main things is the only way you can lose with the local service ads account is either you don't have a strong GBP, so you have like 4 reviews or something like that. And then the other way is having a CSR team that does not mark leads. I'd say those are the only 2 ways you can mess LSA up. It's so easy. One thing I've noticed is that a lot of business owners, ones that don't understand LSA fully, when they come to me, they're the ones that are marking the leads, or they expect us to be marking the leads as an agency. And the only way that you can make an LSA account work is to have the CSR, the person that's answering the phone calls from potential clients, to be marking leads.
What would you say to people? Because we see a lot where they've tried LSA before, but they're spending a lot of money and the CPL isn't low. How do you get around that?
I mean, so there's 2 different bidding strategies you can do on LSA. One is max per lead, and the other one is just like a weekly budget. If you're getting like if you're paying too much for leads, I would try to do the other bidding strategy. But at the end of the day, LSA, like it's competitive. And if you're in a competitive area, there's sometimes no way around paying a lot per lead. It kind of just depends on your market personally. There are there's definitely ways to optimize it. Like you should be adding photos for each category, making sure that the services you're offering are the like it covers everything. Sometimes if you want to lower your CPL, you might get less quality leads if you mark the other in the business category. But again, there's a lot of ways to lower the cost per lead, but at the end of the day, like 99% of the time, it's just you're in a competitive market and people are willing to pay more than you. So I would almost say find a way to make more revenue from a call, if that makes sense.
Yeah, one of the things I like to say, it's like, look, LSA is different than like Facebook or like PPC or Google Ads, something like that, because the phone calls are usually higher intent. They're searching something up and they're looking for an answer to a question or they're looking for somebody for that particular service already. So if you're paying a lot per lead, it's because it's higher intent. And honestly, sometimes if you don't close them, that's completely on you and your sales team.
Yeah. I had an electrician client just text me and he said, I just made $10,000 from 2 leads on local service ads. And like,
Yeah.
honestly, I don't know why he's an electrician. He's like, he knows marketing super well. He's really good at sales. But like, I almost think it's just taking not taking advantage of the customer, but taking advantage of the opportunity that local service ads brings with literally just like handing you on a silver platter high intent customers. You know they want to purchase. So just try to make the most out of each customer. Like that's all I can really recommend.
When it comes back to the fundamentals, if LSA isn't working, it's as a marketing company, we're just dumping fuel on the fire. We're not solving a business strategy problem. And if you can't close, that is not our problem. That is your problem.
100%. And closing is one thing, like marking leads is another.
Oh yeah.
I've had LSA accounts where I'm just like looking at the leads piling up in the active tab. I'm letting the business owner know. I see the threat looming of the LSA just dying and then we're going to have to revive it again. I think after like 3 cycles of business owners seeing how much it affects the amount of calls and the cost per lead of not marking calls, I think then they start to realize, okay, I need to make sure that there is someone in-house, part of the CSR team that is marking leads real time. Because if you mark leads, if you clear your active tab in the LSA same day and just do that for a month, your LSA is just going to be flying and you're going to be showing up before people who aren't. So the faster you can mark leads, the better it's going to perform.
You touched a little bit on reviving an LSA account. What do you mean by that? And go into a little bit of detail on how you can revive a dead LSA account.
So most of the time, whenever there's a dead LSA account, you'll go into the reports tab and then you'll see all of the active leads that are just sitting there. If it's over like a month old, I'll just go in on like my behalf or I'll have a VA do it, just archiving everything that's in that tab just to clear it out. And then teaching the business owner through like the last month of leads, like have them go through and have their CSR mark the leads so that they understand how everything works and like making sure you dispute leads and everything. In terms of like after that, posting an update on your Google business profile, just like making a post showing Google that you're alive. Everything we do to revive an LSA account is just showing Google that we have a pulse. If the Google business profile has a ton of reviews and they haven't been responded to, go and respond to them. I'll write a review for them myself because I have like a level 8 Google account, which like helps. But yeah, just doing everything you can to show like Google that your business is running, you're operational. Because at the end of the day, the main thing is local service ads, they have that bright green Google guaranteed badge. So they're putting their money where their mouth is. And so they're only going to promote you if you are doing the same. So just all the things we touched on earlier, just making sure everything is marked, your leads are, your active tabs cleared, and then Google business profile updates.
So some companies, they're in the LSA category and it's available in their area, but they might not have a lot of Google reviews. How many do you think they need? And at what level? Is it 5 stars or is it 4 stars or somewhere in between that they need to start running LSA?
So I believe you need, I don't know if you need all of them to be 5-star reviews, but I know for roofing, it's 5 reviews. I believe it used to be 3, but I'm going to say across the board, you need at least 5 reviews just to have a local service ads account. But obviously, like you want more than that. If you're trying to start an LSA account with a weak GBP, I would put full focus on just getting reviews, and then making sure that people who call you through LSA and turn into a book job, make sure that you go to the reviews tab in local service ads and send them a review request there. Literally call them and say, hey, I just sent you a review. It would mean a lot if you could reply to this. Then you have a Google verified review under your Google business profile. So
Another thing too that we've started to do recently is helping the business owners to teach their technicians and the people on the job site how to ask customers for their reviews. Doesn't necessarily need to be an LSA review that we've seen in our experience. It just needs to be if they need a stronger GBP, it's going to be more reviews. So it's actually getting the technicians to go on the site, pull up their phone, and like, hey, can I see your phone? I just want to, if you want to leave us a review, I can show you. More than often than not, customer will give them their phone, and technicians now know how to log into Google and leave a review. Be like, hey, okay, here, 5 stars. Can you leave a little comment? That would really help us out. Like, I get a bonus. Like, if you love us so much, like I get a little bonus from my boss. He'll buy me lunch or something. Something like that also helps a ton, and it's a big gap. Like, there's a lot more that goes into just like getting reviews that helps us out and helps a business out eventually to help them scale past that 7-figure mark or scale beyond that.
how do you, okay, because this is something that I've been like trying to push, which is like the technicians themselves asking for the review right after the job
Yep.
is done,
Yep.
especially with LSA. How how well does that work? How many business owners are receptive to it, and what have you noticed that makes business owners actually implement it?
So it's, I don't want to say you have to like almost sell the business owner on it, but it's like, I always ask them, hey, what's your current process of getting reviews? And more often than not, it's like, oh, they're in the CRM after the job's done. Like, we'll send an email request or an SMS request, something like that. Like, what would you be open to like having your techs actually learn how to ask a customer for review? If they say no, okay, no point. But if they say yes, it's just okay. Do you know how to leave a Google review? Can you go to your phone right now and show me? They'll go and they'll get lost. Like, okay, do XYZ, and they just show your text that, and just like tell them what you want them to say. Just if you know the customer is happy, like if they're pissed off, there's no point because they're gonna leave you a 1-star review and probably tell you to fuck off. But if you know that they're happy, just ask them. Just like, hey, would you mind leaving us a 5-star review? I can show you how real quick. It takes 10 seconds. They'll be like, oh my god, yes, I would love to. Thank you so much. And just boom, 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 5-star review.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. I guess like they either want to or they don't.
exactly. Like some people are. And I'm not saying like that is the best thing that you can do, because I don't want to say that. I don't think what we do is groundbreaking or the best thing you can do in the industry, but it's just what works for us and our clients. So they already have a system set up that they're just raking in the reviews. Don't fix what's broken, in my opinion. Like we've audited ad accounts and I've seen glaring issues, in my opinion, but to them it's working. Okay, then you're not the right fit for us because we'd probably reverse what's working for you already.
Nice. What's up, everyone? Today I am with Keigan Carthy, and we are going to be going over everything you need to know about Facebook ads and Google LSA so that you can succeed as a local home service business. Keigan, thank you so much for coming on this podcast today. Super grateful. I hope that the listeners learned something about Facebook ads or Google LSA. If you did, or if you have any questions, please leave a comment in the comments below.